Our next presentation is actually Amza Hydraconis, and it's a presentation on Renaissance Island.
Good din and salutations, gentlefolk. I hope you can hear me. Am I coming through? Okay. I'm on a slightly slower computer because my laptop keeps dropping the Wi-Fi. Okay. Back in the fall of 2009, when I first came into Second Life by way of my daughter-in-law, I discovered that walking around a virtual world was a lot more fun than going from dot to dot in an earlier virtual world, also introduced to me by the aforementioned daughter-in-law. As I walked around, I discovered there were colleges and universities here, and I was walking from one sim to another, just looking around. I'm as high as I can get. As I walked, I stumbled upon a sim that resembled a medieval village. I didn't know it then, but I had found a niche I didn't know existed in Second Life that I liked. I learned what kind of a sim it was and became a resident for about 4 years. While I no longer reside in Renaissance Island, I now co-manage it. Renaissance Island came into being in February 2007 by the Alliance Library Services and is now sponsored by the South Central Regional Library Council. It is also supported by merchants and residents who rent in Renaissance Island, role players and non-role players alike. Ren was created as an immersive, engaging, multidisciplinary environment. In addition to providing an immersive educational experience, Renaissance Island also avails living quarters to residents wanting to spend time in Tudor Britain. Immersive environments such as this engage learners and supplement the classroom experience. Participants may role-play, participate in some other way, or simply observe. During the time I had resided in Ren, there was not only the usual sporting events which occurred during the Tudor era, but educators who brought students in via actual in-world experience or through remote means. The instructor would tour the island while describing the different aspects of Ren. Those students which arrived in-world usually were working on the literature of the era, reciting it in voice chat in our London Globe Theatre. We have hosted a tour to an in-world group, the Virtual Pioneers, who explore various sims, and they enjoyed the visit very much. Plays have been performed on the globe as well. We have hosted conferences and tours, which proved very helpful to those who had need of Renaissance Island's availability for such events. Of course, if you have to deal with the unusual things that occur in a virtual world. One day back in 2013, I came across our manor to discover parts of it were missing. I'll not go into the details of how it happened, other than to say that the cause was found and rectified. In a panic, I contacted the owner of Renaissance Island and described what had occurred in Lagswell Manor. My main concern was the library within, which has had a few library students contribute in the collection of Tudor-era books. My fears were soothed by seeing that no harm had come to that particular room. The manor was soon put to rights, but in the back of my mind I wondered what else could possibly go wrong. Fortunately, nothing that catastrophic happened again. Other events that have occurred were summer and winter solstices. The first time I hosted a summer solstice was on the job-type learning experience. Due to real life, the manager was unable to continue meetings for the planning stages of the event. Wanting to keep this idea going, I jumped in and took over. After getting the outline of the plans, I started getting in contact with the people involved in the various parts of the event to get the ball rolling and put on the event. We managed it very well, despite having at the last minute losing one participant to illness and quickly finding a replacement. Afterwards, I breathed a sigh of relief. I wondered if I real life work while trying to for a while there I wasn't sure if Second Life wasn't really real life. Same that can happen in real life as proved by this life. But outside Renaissance Island was a virtual home to me. I even took up the lance and participated in jazz concerts. Believe me when I tell you, it's a great catharsis to go against an dummy. You need to work off some frustrations. Lying on the ground after a sword fight was quite depressing. I gave that up and moved on to archery. That was more satisfactory. At least the target couldn't fight back. But after 4 years of planning events and holding meetings, I felt I needed a break, and I sadly left. Earlier this year, it came to my attention the manager of Renaissance Island had resigned. I went to a meeting there in early February, and along with my co-estate manager, Prince J. III Figaro, volunteered to help. Since then, it's been a flurry of planning events, holding meetings again, hosting the events, working and thinking at the same time to make Renaissance Island a place for librarians and educators across Second Life to utilize Ren for their use. Plans include monthly storytelling, bi-monthly book discussions, classes in the religious aspect, learning the speech of the era, as well as sporting events, dance and get-togethers, and monthly events. We are also hoping to start a trend of having real-life authors in Second Life to come do readings of their books, fiction and nonfiction. Goals already met were establishing a new rental system, rebuilding some builds, and placing new houses for future residents. We also have a clergyman officiating church services on Sunday at our St. Minite's Church. A challenge to be sure, but one I hope will bear fruit for the future. In conclusion, I hope Renaissance Island will be here for a very long time to come. It is a place that can take you back to the time of the Renaissance, where music, science, and a sense of enlightenment gives you a chance to think for yourself. Only through our perseverance and the help of our community will make that happen. I hope you'll come to Renaissance Island even just to look around to see what we have to offer. And maybe you just might stay a bit longer than a little while. I thank you for your kind attention.